Hello and welcome, everybody. It has been 4 days since we streamed, and it has been about a week since we streamed One Piece, I think. Maybe longer. Maybe less, actually. Did I stream it on time last time? I don't remember. Anyway, for those who've been following me on live on Twitch, we've been going through the 3.0 story of Honkai Star Rail, and I vastly underestimated the length of the story. I thought it'd be about like 6 or 7 hours. I'm 6.5 hours in, and people are telling me that it's going to be like 8 to 10. So, I'm going to be having a third stream playing through that after this one. And if you want to watch the VODs, you can basically subscribe to me over on Twitch TV/Sheet where you can watch all my Twitch VODs. They only stay up there for 14 days, but the unedited version of all my live streams, that's where it is. Everything else that you see on YouTube will usually be edited down, and it'll be put in a neat little package for people on YouTube there. So, I'm going to be going to do that after we do that, but what you're probably here for if you're watching this part here is we're here to talk about One Piece chapter 1136. We're still in the Elbaph arc. We're still in the Yamato cover story, and chapter 1136 is The Land That Awaits the Sun. I'm also still sick. I don't get sick that often, but boy, when I get sick, do I stay sick. Anywho, that's a bit of enough of a long intro, I guess. I'm going to have to edit this down later. So I guess we can start with the Wano rant, because its cover page, it's Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 22, Mysterious Base Deep in Udon. Yamato's cover story still ongoing, and I'll be honest, I think I take the same stance that I said last week, or possibly the week before. This should have just been in Wano. This is like a story arc that I feel like could have just been in Wano. Anyway, they're going to a secret base hidden in Udon. And it looks like they're entering a building that kind of looks like Who's Who's head. And I like how the roof tiles look like a bunch of cigarettes sticking out of Who's Who's mouth. I bet that's intentional. Anyway, it looks like Yamato, Speed, and Otama have captured and defeated Hold'em, so I guess they're just investigating whatever this scene is deep in the middle of Udon. I'll cut the Wano rant a little bit short this time. There were a lot of unanswered questions in the Wano arc that I'm hoping we're going to get some of them answered in this little pilgrimage, because we still don't really know what happened to most of the Animal Kingdom pirates, or the Kaido pirates, whatever you want to call them. We still don't really know what happened to most of them. Hell, technically, you could even say that Drake, or even Hawkins' fate is still technically up in the air. Because what was shown was kind of ambiguous on whether it was a death or not. 1% chance of survival, he said. And Drake was definitely contemplating something the last time we saw Drake. And Drake was also severely injured the last time we saw Drake. And I don't remember him being that injured when he was on Wano, when he was talking to Hawkins, after the Battle of Onigashima. So, hopefully, that'll get elaborated in some respect or in some way. Anywho, that's enough of page 1. Which is funny, because we're talking about the Animal Kingdom Pirates and Wano. Page 1, not in this chapter. Page 1 and Ulti, wonder what happened to them. Anywho, let's move on to page 2. Two and 3. Luffy's enjoying the banquet. This is so good. This moose tastes like dinosaur. Which is both a callback to the moose that Haruden and Staunton went to catch for him. And it's also a reference to the fact that the last time that Luffy spent a lot of time with giants, or at least the first time I should say, they ate dinosaur. Because they were in Little Garden. Right, last week's chapter ended with a knife in someone's head. Here's Jarl again. I'm surprised you got one moose. I'm surprised you got one. Moose is delicious, but the beasts are very fierce. I'd risk any danger for the man who saved my life. Thanks a bunch, Arden. And Stanson. I'm just glad you like it. It's not often that humans come up here to the Sun World. Usually they don't know how to get here, so they assume the underworld is Elbaph and just end up fleeing. Really? But Ors was a vicious warrior whose story has been passed down through our history. Or just cutting away. That's right, he was 3 times the size of any of you, and the man who finished him off was me! Yeah, Cassian Usopp! So that makes sense now. So the Ors froze to death in the underworld. We assumed he was from some northern continent, but it also would make sense of it the frozen underworld of Elbaph. If that's where Ors froze to death. Oh, cutting to Jinbei. Your skin really is blue. Folks are even more colorful at Fishman Island, like all of the fish in the sea. I hope I see a mermaid one day. They're beautiful, gentlemen. The mermaid inlet is like heaven on earth. Oh, that's Sanji blathering that, and it's got a heart punctuation as usual. Wow, but I feel like I'm ascending to heaven just because I'm in the presence of so many giant angels. Aw, Sanji, you're so cute. Man, Sanji's been getting... I gotta give some respect on Sanji. He's got game. It's surprising how many women actually seem to like him, at least in the post-time skip era. He seems to have, like, at least a relationship on every island we've visited so far. He got close with, that geisha girl, or what was her name with the mouse on Wano. Then there was also Pudding on Whole Cake. We can't not mention her. I actually like Pudding. I think Pudding's storyline was actually really well written, and I didn't think that she got old. But I love me some Dan Durais. Anywho. And then we had Viola on Dressrosa. And I guess all the mermaids that he's mentioning in the Mermaid Inlet. Yeah. Literally, the full post-time skip era of Sanji, it's been less of a closet perv and more of a ladies' man, if you really stop and look at it. Woohoo! I'm drowning in beautiful women! Alright, that's the end of page 3. And what are you then? Me? Why, Brooke. I've got the What Am I Blues, yeah! Okay, he's still playing a song. A toast to the wonders of the vast world. Kinda surprised how many giants haven't ever gone to sea. Right? Oh, it's Nami and, Nami and Zoro are talking there, okay. I thought all the giants on Elbaph were pirates. Zoop. Ultra rare Nami, ultra rare Straw Hats, forgive me for my earlier indiscretion. Ah, so that must be Road, who's been beat to a pulp. No forgiveness for you, make sure you apologize. This is awakening something in me. Punish me, Gerd. Oh god. Oh, that's his thought bubble. That's his thought bubble. Oh god. Rodo is such a weirdo. I love him. Don't worry about it. Nobody died. Only because Usopp stopped us from fighting back. If not for that, I would have... Your head would have left your shoulders. Yikes. Yeah. Look at Rodo. Don't you know what their bounties are? You don't stand a chance against them. Wow, they even do bounty power scaling in Elbaph. And the next time he tries something, you just go ahead and do that. My god! This is so stimulating, as Thought Bubble says. Wow, he's gone full masochist. You don't understand. That was a dream. That's held by everyone born in Elbaph. We all wish to be the sun god and rule the world. Alright, pages 6 and 7. Here we go. Sun god. Don't be a fool. The sun god isn't a ruler. Yeah, he's god of liberation. No, a god of destruction. Wrong, he's a god of laughter. They're brawling now. What's this about a god? Elbaph is home to an ancient religious text known as the Harley. Because it is so ancient, there are many interpretations of it. It continues to be passed down, even though no one can translate it anymore, hence the confusion. According to the Harley, the world has twice been destroyed in the past, and in each case, the presence of Nika, the sun god, is closely tied to it. Nika. Oh, we're getting a full artist rendition of Nika, the god of liberation now. Is he the hero who appeared to save the world from disaster? The destroyer who lays waste to all? He appears when the world is about to undergo a great transformation. Therefore, the great and mighty of the day always fear Nika's arrival. Oh yeah, Nika. Bonnie was talking about that guy. Because he's a god of the sun. It is those without hope who seek him the most. Nika wears white clouds around him, and appears with white hair, clothes, and jolly laughter. That must be why everyone said I remind them of him. But that has nothing to do with me. Yeah, that's about what I expected Luffy to learn. I'm surprised Luffy's even present and learning about this. I'm surprised he's even listening to this. But hey, we got to learn the story of Nika. That's already a chapter highlight. And we're, I guess, 7 pages in. Let's move to 8 pages in. 8 and 9. Come on, don't ruin all the fun, Straw Hat. Everyone born in Elbaph idolized Nika growing up. Oh, that's right. I forgot one of them talks with a lisp. Though I won't defend whatever that moron Roto was doing. Huh. Even Loki and the late Herald, in a sense, are a result of attempting to be Nika, perhaps. You don't have to rationalize Loki's actions that way, Chief Jarl. So if there's a chief and a king, how does that work? Are there other villages that the king manages? Oh, Loki. Is Loki a good guy? Everyone in the entire building. Absolutely not! He's the accursed prince. Even before Loki's birth, King Harald prophesied that he would be killed by his own son. Shortly after he was born, he killed the royal family's lucky horse. They have horses? Like the giants, I guess they have giant moose, so giant horse doesn't seem like that much of a stretch. That was the same year that Linlin killed Chief Jarl, the legendary warrior. The country was beset by natural disasters, and the queen passed just a year after giving birth to Loki. He made the underworld his playground, using his innate strength to kill and control the vicious animals down there, and then he unleashed them on the villages. At just 10 years old, anyone else getting Odin flashbacks? This kid was a menace from the beginning. Arson, devastation. Loki's many pranks threatened our lives. Between his status as a prince and his cruel personality, he made our lives hell whenever King Harald was away. And then, worst of all, Loki killed Harald, the greatest king in Elbaph history. Ooh, we got a silhouette for Harald. He's a big, stocky individual. I don't know what more you want me to say about that. He's a giant. He's posing with a sword beneath his hands like this. Right in his own castle up there. The kind and radiant king who tried to connect Elbaph with the other countries of the world that were so terrified of our warlike ways. Chief Jarl was there and tried to stop Loki. That's when he got stabbed in the head. This helmet saved my life. The helmet didn't do anything. I love that Luffy's getting really angry about that. It was about 6 years ago, I believe, that Redhair caught Loki rampaging at sea for us. Shanks did that? Oh, I heard that Shanks is here. He was around a little while ago. I don't know where he went, though. Why we got a panel of Zoro listening to this? Okay, moving over to 10. Outskirts of town. I thought it was weird how fidgety you were. This would explain it. That guy killed the king. The whole country hates him. Obviously, everything he told you was a lie. But he says he knows where Shanks is. Do you have any idea how much I want to see him? Yes, you talk about it all the time. It's a way for him to take advantage of you. Think Loki doesn't even know? I'm just basing it on his reputation. I didn't see the guy. I'll tell you everything I know, including where Redhair is now. If he's lying, I'm not letting him go. I'll beat him up instead. Oh, Luffy's gonna go all the way back and beat up Loki. That's funny. And he's probably gonna accidentally let him out by doing so. Alright, let's move to 12 and 13. I wondered why you were sneaking around. Have you guys ever gotten to your destination without me? So Nami's going with them. Listen up, Luffy. I'll get the keys to his cuffs, but we're gonna decide if he's telling the truth or not. Got it, thanks. So why is he here anyway? He's my servant now. It's an honor. Oh my god. Man, Nami collecting servants. First Zeus, now Roto. But I'm servant number 1. And Sanji is servant number 2. Got that? I'm like, that's Zeus. Let's speak of the devil. What a stimulating torture method. You zapped him? You know, I think we share a lot in common. Both being navigators. Of course Roto would say that. For those who've known Roto from, like, the cover serials, that's actually what we knew about Roto before we met him here in Elbaph. Never try to close the distance between us again. No, of course not. I feel bad that we're taking the star of the show away. I brought some meat. Did you try any of this moose yet? They're all properly hammered now. They won't even remember what that feast was for. It's such a shame that the treasure in the castle will be disappearing. What do you think, Roto? My eyesight is poor. I doubt I would even be able to tell it's gone. So that's why you're here, Nami. Huh? Your eyes. Oh, she's got the belly eyes again. Okay, so they're going to rob the palace of the keys to go get Loki, and Nami's going to raid the treasure while she's here, I guess. Dogahaha. So that's what this is about. I think we're getting close to the end. Here we go. The underworld. Dog ha ha ha. Alright. I take your point. And in that case, I refuse. Okay, so we're cutting back to Loki. You think I'm going to spend the one life I have stooping to the level of trash? Gee, thanks for the invitation, the most noble knighthood in the world. So, what are you two, then? Celestial dragons? Where's the intel from? The agents dispatch to Elbaph sent one last transmission. That a giant crow had appeared. Nothing since then. We don't have any dirt on him. But now that I hear him for myself, he's supremely insolent. Okay, so we're getting the big reveal on who the Holy Knights are now. Yep, Holy Knight, Gunko. So this is the one with the mask that we saw, that was with the weird Shanks look-alike. We should simply erase him. Interesting. So she has a bunch of arrows that are, like, wrapping around her body. Kind of reminds me of Medusa from, what's it called? Soul Eater, for those who've read that. Don't get ahead of yourself, Gunko. So her arm is also unfolding into a bunch of wrapping arrows. That's kind of interesting. How does that relate to the giant that she was, like, killing by making him not follow an order? Her powers fascinate me. I don't know if I like the design of her outfit, though. I feel like it's kind of a little bit revealing needlessly. It looks like she's wearing, like, a 4-button, like, a double-breasted coat, but it only goes down to, like, her upper thigh, and you can actually, like, see her crotch exposed. So, it's just a nitpick from me. I like the design from her, like, everything above that. I like her hat, I like her goggles, I like the mask, I like the heterochromia. The shoes are hit or miss for me. I think coming off of Egghead, the weird mechanical-looking shoes, and I'm kind of, like, burned out on it. Anyway, this one of the wolves seems to be antagonizing them. Alrighty. Pages 16 and 17. This looks like the last two. Ogahaha. Gobble them up, wolf. Hey, you breathed on me. And she's twirling the arrow around her. What the hey, wolf? And she just pierced him through the head like a spear. Okay. Wolf. If we offered to spare its life, would that change your mind? You're offering me a deal. In that case, your fate is sealed, my friend. Die and be at peace. Yes, I'll be sad, as well as angry. But a warrior doesn't quibble and whine about his way of death. Instead, I'll feed on this rage and use it to bring the world to ruin. Okay, and that's where we end. To be continued. No clue what's going to be going on from here. I hope next chapter, next week, if it's not a break week, picks up immediately where this left off. Because we're finally seeing the Holy Knights in action. We only got one of their names revealed. We got Gunko. Or Gunko. Not entirely sure. They have some kind of power that makes them turn into, like, ribbons, arrows. Not entirely sure how that works. I'm assuming it's a devil fruit power. They're maybe like an arrow person. Who knows? Let's do a little bit of a highlights. As I already mentioned, I guess the big highlight for me is Usopp. Usopp taking credit for taking down Oars. That's fun. That's a fun highlight for me. Just a lot of Roto in this chapter. So Roto has been delegated to Nami's slave number 3, I guess. We got the lore of the god of sun, Nika. And with the way that they portray it, it matches up with what I kind of expect. And I buy it. It makes it understandable why people would be suspicious of the god. The people in power would mean that he would be like a herald of the end for the people that are currently in power. And it also kind of lines up with what we got in, like, Vegapunk's speech, where we don't know if he was, like, good or bad, like, which has the parallels to Joy Boy. We don't know if the war during the Void Century, Joy Boy was a hero or a villain. He's probably going to end up being a Luffy-esque figure where it's just somebody that wanted to do their own thing, which ended up saving the world or destroying it. Who knows? But we're definitely going to see parallels to Joy Boy. And we see parallels to Joy Boy in both Vegapunk's speech and the way the story tells the story of Nika. So that's actually something that's pretty big. That's a huge highlight of the chapter, and I bet when I start looking what other people have to say about the chapter, it's all going to be in the ballpark of somewhere around that. We get a little bit more about Loki's backstory, which also kind of has parallels to Odin's backstory, which is probably going to end with Loki being a good guy by the end of Elbaph, or at least like a neutral ally. Or maybe he'll just be like his own thing and go off on his own. We're definitely setting up Loki as possibly an antagonist, but definitely a neutral party. Because Loki is now being attacked by the Holy Knights, as Luffy, Zoro, and Nami with Roto set out to free Loki so that Luffy can beat him up. God, I wish I could say I saw that coming. And then lastly, we got Gunko's design. The Holy Knights versus Loki is happening. It's starting as a fight scene, I guess, and that's probably what we'll get to see in the next chapter. And we'll probably see a little bit of the exploration of Harold's castle. Maybe we'll find out if those guards that the Holy Knights encountered are dead or not. Who knows? Basically, that sums up my both predictions for the next chapter as well as my highlights of this chapter. Not much more about my brain that I have to pick that I haven't already said. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably already watched other people's reactions. Personally, I'm going to probably take some time out of my day tomorrow to watch Randy Troy's reaction, because it always shows up at the top of my feed because I got that Noti Bell linked. But at the same time, I'm glad that I actually get to do these now and record my own reactions and opinions to this, because you actually get to see the joy that One Piece has brought to my life. Thank you everyone who stopped by for that, and if you're here live on Twitch, stick around because we're going to resume some Honkai Star Rail and other things. But for those of you on YouTube, I'll see you all in the next video. And keep an eye out for those, because we're going to be having a few of those probably posted over the course of the next week. Ta-ta.